So non-duality is really the game changer. Like, non-duality really works. So I think sometimes by the radicalness of some of the teaching of non-duality, people get into their mind nothing changes, which is true because what you've always been is nothing. So nothing changes because you remember who you are as that no thing beyond the person. But then people personalize it and they think nothing changes for the person, nothing changes for me when I get non-duality because there is no me. And they get into all types of like weird loops. But non-duality to me is absolute freedom. It's like a game changer. It really works. And what I mean by works is it is freedom, but not freedom for someone, but freedom because who we are is unbound, not to. Who we are is totally free and alive and has no limits on what it is, and it's totally blissful, full of bliss to be yourself because you're unbound. Like, you're right here, right now, and you are unbound. You're not limited by your age, you're not limited by your job, you're not limited by your skin, you're not limited by what you can afford or not afford, or by the superiority of your car. You're not bound by how much money you have, you're not bound by your activities, you're not bound by what you have to do every day. You're not bound by a difficult relationship or a loved one dying or having to care for parents. You're not bound by anything because you aren't a body. You are the endless, infinite consciousness of what is. And if you really want to go for it, you can even say you are not consciousness, because consciousness too is a limitation, an idea. You are totally unbound. You're free right here, right now. And that's not nothing changes for the person. It's a fundamental shift in perception from being limited to being not limited. It is absolute freedom, and it is an energetic shift. Like, a lot of new teachers, make out as if nothing happens and the person doesn't change and they're still as unhappy as what they were before. And to me, that's completely not the way it is. To me, it is like a radical shift. Like, if I hadn't got into this subject, Lisa's life would have been difficult. Like, the trajectory, I can't say the word, in which she was on, she would have got into lots of mental suffering and lots of ideas about herself and the world and what she had to be. Non-duality totally saved Lisa's life. It saved it so much in a way Lisa lost her life. But the reason why teachers tend to hammer on is it's not freedom for someone, because who you are is unbound and the freedom is unbound. So it can't be for someone because the someone is already a limitation. The someone is already an idea. And also, like, ideas that you can't do anything to get to this. This is true because who is the you that would do something to get to this? But often practice happens. That's absolute giving up one's life for this subject, absolute dedication to putting in the attention in the I am, or putting the attention in consciousness, or exploring the shadow side. I mean, what tends to happen is that the attention stops wandering off into the horizontal thought realm of you and comes here, and as it comes here, it becomes hyper aware of all the shadow of all of the person and all that they've been hiding and ignoring and pretending they're not. So then there goes the process of the shadow work, because the attention is resting in what is rather than resting in daydream and illusion. And what is totally free, totally unbound. This is a radical shift. It's absolute freedom. And so maybe if you're listening to this path, you're going through the shadow stuff and you're like, this is terrible, this is hellish. It does go through a period of that because you've been going into thought and imagination to avoid what's happening. So as the attention comes back to this and stops following the illusion, then all that you've been avoiding comes to the surface. All that you're running away from comes to the surface. So say in the evening you used to drink alcohol and watch Netflix to avoid what was happening. As the attention rests more here, you'll begin to see that. So then you have to sit in the discomfort that you were trying to avoid. And that's really uncomfortable at first. But as that happens more and more, and there stops being this avoidance of pain and clinging on to pleasure, then you begin to lose all your bounds of who you were, what you know, what you want, what you don't want, and you melt into the freedom of what you are as this unbound experiencing of what is. We could say consciousness, but consciousness too tends to be a limitation of mind. Like because they think of personal consciousness or something. You could say the energy, the mysterious energy, the mysterious creator. So if you feel the urges and the desires towards this subject, let that come, totally dive into it. It's not that you have to give up seeking, because seeking is what's dropped. It's not that you have to give up seeking. Well, there is seeking there that has to be explored. If you don't seek in spirituality, you're going to seek in sex and drugs and alcohol and all things that make the body incredibly uncomfortable. So redirecting it to spirituality is wisdom, is healthy. But it's an illusion that you will arrive, that you are doing the process. But while that urge is there, totally use that urge to explore what is. And I assure you, the fruits will be found, the flowers will blossom. You'll find a freedom that is always here, no matter what the life circumstance is here. Yeah. I really, really wish you everything. And when I say that, I mean really everything, until the point that you totally lose yourself. Everything to the point till everything becomes nothing. No thing.